The human eye is often described as the window to the soul, but in the high-stakes theater of modern attraction, it functions more like a high-definition transmitter of silent intent. While words can be rehearsed, edited, or suppressed, the physiological and neurological responses triggered by genuine desire are almost impossible to mask. This is the foundation of the eye contact rule, a sophisticated framework of nonverbal cues that bypasses polite small talk and speaks directly to the subconscious. When a man wants you, his eyes become the primary tool through which he maps your presence, signals his interest, and tests the emotional waters. Understanding these 15 distinct visual behaviors is not just about reading a room. It is about decoding a biological language that has been hardwired into our species for millennia. The power of eye contact lies in its ability to create an immediate, localized intimacy that excludes the rest of the world. In a crowded room or a busy social setting, a focused gaze acts as a spotlight, elevating a specific individual from a face in the crowd to the center of one's universe. This process is driven by the brain's limbic system, which manages our most primal emotions and drives. When attraction is sparked, the brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals, phenylethylamine, dopamine, and oxytocin, which manifest physically through the muscles and nerves surrounding the eyes. From the involuntary dilation of the pupils to the lingering beat of a gaze held a second too long, these microsignals provide a roadmap of a man's internal state. However, the eye contact rule is not a monolithic concept. It is a nuanced spectrum of behaviors ranging from the subtle and protective to the bold and predatory. Some signs, like the triangular gaze, are mechanical indicators of physical escalation, focusing on the sensory zones of the face. Others, such as tracking in a crowd, are territorial, demonstrating a subconscious need to maintain a visual tether to the object of interest. Then there are the vulnerable cues, like the look away and smile reflex, which reveal the charming friction between intense attraction and the natural bashfulness that comes with high social stakes. In the digital age, where much of our communication is mediated by screens, the intensity of raw, face-to-face eye contact has become even more potent. It carries a weight that text messages and social media interactions simply cannot replicate. To master the eye contact rule is to learn how to distinguish between social gazing, the polite, functional eye contact we use with colleagues and strangers, and intimate gazing, which is characterized by depth, duration, and a specific type of emotional heaviness. By identifying these 15 ways a man uses his eyes to signal desire, you gain a profound advantage in navigating the complexities of dating relationships, allowing you to see exactly where you stand before a single word is ever spoken. 1. The triangular gaze. The triangular gaze is a classic physiological indicator used in social psychology to identify high levels of romantic interest or physical attraction. When someone is engaged in a standard, platonic conversation, their eyes typically move in a horizontal line from one of your eyes to the other. However, when attraction enters the equation, the gaze shifts into a downward triangular pattern. They look at one eye, then the other, and then drop their gaze to your mouth before returning to your eyes. This movement is often subconscious and happens in a matter of seconds, but its implications are profound. By shifting their focus to your lips, the individual is non-verbally signaling a desire for deeper intimacy. The mouth is a highly sensual zone, and looking at it suggests they are thinking about what it would be like to be closer to you. This specific gaze pattern indicates that they are no longer just listening to your words, but are instead consuming your presence. It is a sign that they find you aesthetically pleasing and are feeling a pull toward a more physical connection. In a dating context, if you notice a man's eyes tracing this invisible triangle, it usually means he is feeling a strong spark. This behavior often occurs during pauses in conversation or when the tension between two people starts to build. It's a departure from the power gaze, focusing on the forehead or eyes, or the social gaze, eyes only. Because it feels more vulnerable and intimate, people generally only use the triangular gaze with those they are genuinely attracted to. It is one of the most reliable tells in the world of body language because most people aren't even aware they are doing it. 2. The look away and smile reflex. The look away and smile reflex is a charming and highly revealing micro-expression that occurs when someone is caught admiring you. It typically happens when your eyes meet across a room or during a brief lull in a face-to-face interaction. The moment he realizes you've noticed him looking, he quickly breaks eye contact, not out of boredom, but out of a sudden surge of approach anxiety or bashfulness. The key to this rule, however, isn't the looking away. It's the smile that inevitably follows. When a man is genuinely interested, breaking eye contact feels like a safe way to reset his emotions. But because looking at you makes him happy, he cannot suppress the dopamine-induced grin that spreads across his face the moment he looks down or to the side. This is fundamentally different from a cold look away, which usually signifies dismissal or distraction. The reflex smile shows that he is genuinely enjoying your company or your appearance, and is perhaps a bit nervous about how much he likes what he sees. This behavior is rooted in the evolutionary psychology of courtship. It's a perceptive behavior, a signal that he is interested but also respectful of the social stakes. It reveals a level of sweet vulnerability. If a man looks away and his face remains neutral or stoic, he might just be scanning the room. But if he looks away and you see that unmistakable, slightly sheepish smile tugging at the corners of his mouth, it's a clear sign that you are the primary source of his positive mood. He is essentially caught in the act of liking you, and his body is reacting before his brain can put up a cool, collected front. 3. Prolonged eye contact during silence. Silence can be one of the most uncomfortable parts of human interaction. Yet for two people who are mutually attracted, it becomes a powerful medium for connection. Prolonged eye contact during silence occurs when the talking stops, but the looking doesn't. In a platonic setting, silence usually prompts people to look at their phones, their drinks, or around the room to ease the awkwardness. When he wants you, he will use that silence to hold your gaze, effectively turning a quiet moment into a shared experience of intimacy. This type of eye contact is often described as heavy or electric. By refusing to break the gaze when there is nothing left to say, he is testing the waters. He is seeing if you are comfortable enough to exist in his space without the crutch of conversation. It's a high-confidence move that signals he is fully present and focused entirely on you. It creates a vacuum that is usually filled by sexual tension or emotional depth. If he holds your eyes for 3 seconds or longer during a quiet moment, he is likely waiting for a sign to move closer. Furthermore, this behavior suggests a desire for a soul-to-soul connection. When we speak, we focus on logic and information. When we are silent and looking, we focus on feeling. A man who leans into these silent stays is essentially saying, "I am fascinated by you beyond just what you have to say." It is a bold way of communicating desire without uttering a single word. If you find yourself locked in a gaze that feels like it's lasting an eternity, and neither of you wants to be the first to blink or look away, the attraction is almost certainly mutual and intense. 4. The pupil dilation effect. The pupil dilation effect is perhaps the most honest of all eye contact rules because it is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, meaning it cannot be faked or consciously suppressed. When we look at something we find beautiful, exciting, or desirable, our brain releases a surge of oxytocin and dopamine. This chemical reaction causes the pupils to expand, dilate, to let in more of the pleasing image. If you are speaking to a man in a normally lit room and his pupils look like saucers or black holes, his body is physically reacting to his attraction to you. Historically, this phenomenon has been so well recognized that in the Renaissance, women used belladonna eye drops to artificially dilate their pupils to appear more attractive to men. When his pupils dilate while looking at you, it's a sign that his fight-or-flight system is being slightly triggered by excitement. He is literally trying to take in as much of you as possible. It's a biological green light that indicates he is highly stimulated by your presence. To spot this, you have to be quite close, which in itself is a sign of intimacy. If you notice his pupils growing larger as the conversation gets deeper or more flirtatious, you are seeing a direct window into his nervous system. It's important to account for lighting. Dark rooms naturally cause dilation. But if the light is consistent and his pupils still expand, he is experiencing a physiological pull toward you. It's one of nature's most subtle but definitive ways of saying, "I like what I see." This bedroom eyes look is the result of genuine biological arousal and interest. 5. The frequent scanning technique. The frequent scanning technique is a behavior often seen in social settings, such as parties, bars, or even a busy office. It involves a man constantly checking in on your location by scanning the room. Even if he is engaged in a conversation with someone else, his eyes will periodically drift toward you to see what you are doing, who you are talking to, or if you are looking back at him. It's as if you have become the North Star of his visual field, and he needs to orient himself based on where you are. This behavior reveals that you are his priority in the room. Even when he isn't physically next to you, his subconscious is preoccupied with your presence. This scanning is often accompanied by a quick re-engagement gaze. For example, if someone laughs loudly, his first instinct won't be to look at the person who laughed. It will be to look at you to see your reaction. This is a massive indicator of a wanting dynamic, as it shows he cares more about your perspective and experience than anything else happening in the environment. When a man scans for you frequently, he is also establishing a nonverbal tether. He wants to make sure the line of communication is still open. If your eyes meet during one of these scans, he will likely hold the gaze for a split second longer than necessary before turning back to his current task. This visual monitoring is a protective and possessive instinct in its early stages. He is keeping tabs on his interest, ensuring you haven't left or become too engrossed with someone else. It's a clear sign that while his body may be across the room, his mind is exactly where you are. 6. The magnetic glance from across the room. The magnetic glance is a specific type of long-distance eye contact that feels intentional and weighted. Unlike the scanning technique, which is quick and frequent, the magnetic glance is a deliberate hold. You look up from your group, and he is already looking at you from across the room. Instead of looking away quickly, like the reflex smile, he stays locked onto your eyes for a few seconds, acknowledging the distance between you and the desire to close it. This move is all about establishing a secret connection in a public space. It creates an invisible thread between the two of you that no one else in the room is aware of. By holding your gaze from a distance, he is projecting confidence. He is essentially saying, "I see you, and I want you to know I'm looking." This is a foundational step in the chase. It builds anticipation and makes the eventual physical approach feel like a foregone conclusion rather than a random encounter. This glance often carries a smoldering quality. It isn't a casual look, it's a focused, intense observation. Often, his body will be angled toward you even if he is standing far away, a concept known as ventral squaring. If you find that every time you look up, you find his eyes waiting for yours, he isn't just noticing you, he is focused on you. This magnetic pull is a powerful tool in attraction because it builds visual intimacy before a single word has been exchanged. It's his way of claiming your attention from afar, signaling that he is interested in more than just a passing acquaintance. 7. The double take. The double take is perhaps the most mover-like indicator on this list, but it happens in real life more often than people realize. It occurs when a man sees you, looks away as a matter of habit or social conditioning, and then immediately, almost violently, snaps his gaze back to you. This is a reaction of pure, unfiltered surprise and admiration. His brain literally needed a second processing moment to handle the visual information of how attractive or intriguing he finds you. The double take is a high compliment behavior because it's a glitch in his social mask. It shows that your appearance or vibe was so striking that it overrode his normal, composed behavior. This usually happens the first time he sees you in a particular setting, or if you've walked into a room looking particularly stunning. It signifies an instant attraction that is almost entirely physical or based on presence. It's the physical manifestation of the phrase, "I couldn't believe my eyes." When a man does a double take, he is temporarily disarmed. He might stumble over his words if he was speaking, or lose his train of thought. This shock to the system is a fantastic sign that he is highly attracted to you. It sets the stage for everything that follows, as he is now in a state of high alert regarding your presence. If you notice a man look at you, look away, and then snap his head back for a longer, more focused second look, you can be 100% certain that you have made a significant impact on him. He wants to see more because the first glimpse wasn't enough to satisfy his curiosity. 8. Focusing on the lips while you speak. When a man's gaze consistently drifts from your eyes down to your lips while you are talking, the conversation has moved beyond a simple exchange of information. This is a primary indicator of sensory focus. In a professional or platonic setting, people maintain eye contact or look at the social triangle of the forehead and eyes to show they are listening. However, shifting the focus to the mouth is a biological signal of burgeoning desire. It suggests that while his ears are hearing your words, his mind is preoccupied with the physical reality of your presence. This behavior is often a precursor to a move for physical intimacy. The lips are a focal point of attraction, and by watching the move, he is subconsciously visualizing a closer connection. This downward gaze creates a heavy sense of tension. It makes the speaker feel seen in a way that is both vulnerable and exhilarating. It is a sign that he finds your essence captivating and is likely experiencing a strong pull to be nearer to you. If he does this during a particularly personal or flirtatious part of the conversation, he is signaling that his interest is romantic rather than just friendly. 9. The soft eyes expression. The soft eyes expression is a subtle change in the muscles around the eyes that signals deep affection and comfort. When we are stressed or indifferent, our eyes tend to be hard and focused. But when a man is looking at someone he truly wants or cares for, the muscles around his eyes relax. His eyelids may droop slightly, and his entire expression becomes warmer. This is often accompanied by a slight tilt of the head. It is the visual representation of letting his guard down. This look is powerful because it conveys a sense of safety and admiration. It's a look a person gives when they are truly drinking you in and appreciating the moment. Soft eyes are a sign that he feels a genuine emotional resonance with you. He isn't just looking at you. He is feeling something while he looks at you. This expression is difficult to fake, as it requires a genuine state of relaxation and positive emotional arousal. If you feel like his gaze is wrapped in a hug, it is a definitive sign of deep attraction. 10. Intense focus during deep conversation. In a world full of distractions, phones, notifications, and other people, total presence is a rare and valuable commodity. When a man maintains intense focus during a deep conversation, he is giving you his most limited resource, his undivided attention. This means he isn't just looking at you. He is locked in. His eyes don't wander when a door opens or when his phone buzzes. He is visually demonstrating that, in this moment, nothing in the room is more important than what you are saying and who you are. This level of eye contact builds a bubble around the two of you, isolating you from the rest of the world. It signals that he values your intellect and your perspective as much as your physical appearance. This type of focus is highly attractive because it makes the other person feel uniquely significant. If he maintains this unwavering gaze even during complex or emotional topics, it shows he is willing to invest the energy required to truly understand you. It's a sign of high-level interest that combines intellectual curiosity with romantic intent. 11. Tracking your movements in a crowd. Tracking is a predatory instinct repurposed for courtship. When you move across a room, perhaps to get a drink, speak to a friend, or head to the restroom, his eyes follow you. He may not even realize he is doing it, but his gaze tracks your path through the environment. This is a sign that you have become the central figure in his current reality. Even if he is mid-sentence with someone else, his eyes will briefly tag your location as you move. This behavior shows a high level of spatial awareness regarding you. He wants to know where you are at all times, partly out of interest and partly out of a desire to remain connected to your orbit. It's a silent way of saying, I haven't lost sight of you. If you catch him watching you walk away or return, it's a clear indicator that he is captivated by your movement and presence. You are the most interesting thing in his field of vision, and his eyes are simply refusing to let you go. 12. The raised eyebrow micro-expression. The eyebrow flash is a split-second upward movement of the eyebrows that occurs when we see someone we like or find intriguing. It is an opening gesture. It literally opens the eyes wider to take in more of the person. While it happens in a fraction of a second, its impact is significant. It's a nonverbal hello that signals recognition and instant like. When a man does this as you walk into a room or as you start talking, his brain is giving you an immediate thumbs up. This micro-expression is a sign of perceptive interest, meaning he is open to interaction and finds the sight of you pleasant. It's often followed by a smile or a change in posture. Because it is a micro-expression, it is largely subconscious and reflects his true, unfiltered reaction to your presence. If you notice his brows jump slightly when your eyes meet, he is experiencing a momentary burst of genuine interest and excitement. It is one of the most basic and universal signs of human attraction. 13. Subtle blinking rate changes. Blinking is usually a rhythmic, unnoticed process, but it changes significantly under the influence of emotion. When someone is excited, nervous, or experiencing high levels of attraction, their blink rate often increases. This is a result of the physiological arousal that comes with being near someone they want. Conversely, when someone is in deep focus or mesmerized by what they are seeing, their blink rate may slow down significantly as they stare in admiration. Either extreme is a sign of interest. Frequent blinking can signal a fluttery, nervous energy. He's excited to be near you and his nervous system is revving up. A slowed blink rate signals that he is totally captivated and doesn't want to miss a single second of your expressions. By paying attention to these subtle shifts, you can gauge the intensity of his internal state. If his blinking seems out of sync with a normal resting state, it's because his interaction with you is anything but ordinary to him. 14. The checking in look after a joke. Laughter is a social glue, but it's also a powerful tool for gauging a specific person's opinion. When a man tells a joke or says something witty in a group setting, his first instinct will be to look at the person whose opinion he cares about most to see if they are laughing. If he immediately checks in with you after a funny moment, he is signaling that you are his primary audience. He is seeking your validation and wants to share that moment of joy specifically with you. This checking in look is a massive tell for attraction. It shows that even when he is performing for a group, his focus is narrowed down to your reaction. He wants to know if you share his sense of humor and if he has succeeded in impressing you. If his eyes find yours the moment the room erupts in laughter, he is non-verbally telling you that your reaction is the only one that truly matters to him. It is a sign of deep emotional alignment and a desire to be seen favorably in your eyes. 15. Holding the gaze just a second too long. This is perhaps the most electric and undeniable signal of romantic intent. In normal social interactions, there's an unwritten rhythm to eye contact, a standard duration that feels comfortable before one or both parties look away to reset. When a man wants you, he will deliberately break that social contract. Instead of looking away at the natural conclusion of a sentence or a shared glance, he holds your eyes for a lingering extra second. This beat of silence and visual connection is where this spark truly resides. That extra second is a conscious choice. It transforms a casual look into a profound statement of presence. It creates a moment out of thin air, forcing both of you to acknowledge the tension between you. By refusing to be the first to look away, he is displaying high-status confidence and testing your level of comfort with his intensity. It is a nonverbal way of asking, do you feel this too? If you find yourself caught in these extended glances, it is a sign that he is no longer just observing you. He is inviting you into a deeper, more intimate space. This behavior is often the final bridge between friendly and flirty. It signals that he is comfortable with the vulnerability of being seen and is equally fascinated by seeing you. If his gaze feels sticky or heavy, as if it takes a physical effort for him to finally look away, his interest is likely at an all-time high. This lingering look is the hallmark of someone who is captivated, signaling a desire to prolong the connection for as long as possible. It is the ultimate eye contact rule because it relies on the raw, unspoken chemistry that exists when two people are truly drawn to one another.